The ship's unique design suggests there were no fatalities.
Huh? Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is cool!
We're back with more of the greatest Skyrim mods of all time, and today we're not looking at the mods that add brand new content, but instead we're improving elements that Bethesda themselves have added, and making some recommendations for those of you who want that vanilla plus experience. So let's start by making these cardboard cutout followers into actual characters, while sprucing up your game with mods that are perfect for those of you not looking to have thousands and thousands of mods. So let's get started with a classic home renovation, Elianora's Breezehome.
If it's the war you're referring to, I'm on the side of Whiterun.
I might be exaggerating a bit, but Breezehome has been a first home for many, especially if you're in my generation and you're never gonna own your own house. That hurt to say. That said, Whiterun's Breezehome is a bit cramped, and many often find themselves upgrading rather quickly to a larger space. But with Elianora's Breezehome, we'll ensure your first home will become your forever home, or at least one of many. First of all, just have a look around. Elianora is known for filling homes with clutter and efficiently packing utilities so that you have everything you need in a small space, while keeping everything feeling cozy. This means that you get an oven, a cooking pot, an enchanting table, a staff enchanter, an alchemy table, all the blacksmith amenities and so on. Think of it this way, if base Skyrim offers it, you'll find it in Elianora's Breezehome. You also have access to a vault to store all of your Dover gear, including every Daedric artifact, Dragon Priest mask, Dragon Claw, plenty of unique weapons, and so on. Underneath you'll find a basement, which is where you'll do all your smithing as mentioned before, store more of your armour, house some of your companions, and even bathe and use the sauna. It's a great place right in the heart of Whiterun, which has all your amenities in a nice cozy space that won't take 3,000 years to load. Plus you can teleport to it if need be, which is neat if you want to just drop by and put some stuff in a chest partway through an adventure. Honestly, I wholeheartedly recommend anything by Elianora, but this is a mod that I've been using for almost a decade specifically, and it still remains one of my go-to player home mods. Still, you won't be the only one living, as it is Lydia's home too, and while we're improving the home, we might as well give everyone's favourite housecarl, as well as a lot of other people, a bit more personality with the Follower Dialogue expansion series.
As my Thane, I'm sworn to your service. I'll guard you and all you own with my life.
Made by Ambigod, the Follower Dialogue expansion series gives over a dozen followers a personality expansion, as you would expect, making them more than just cardboard cutouts. This also applies to some NPCs who aren't followers but get made into them, like Ysolda and Elisif the Fair. If you want an example of what this mod does, let's take a look at Lydia, who, instead of showing some minor sarcasm about carrying stuff and not a lot else, has a past as a former mercenary and sought to change her life around, becoming a worshipper of Mara. Have a listen.
He was a priest of Mara looking for a bodyguard to escort him to Dawnstar. Said something about finishing what he started. At first I thought it was just another boring escort job, but things quickly took an intriguing turn. Precisely. Looks like you've already been acquainted. The first night of our trip, I had a nightmare so vividly horrendous, yet I couldn't wake up from it. Then this priest, Erendur, bestowed Mara's blessings upon me. It was then I learned his true mission. He was on a quest to free Dawnstar from a similar nightmare curse.
This is obviously a lot more than most vanilla followers get, and as a result, these dialogue expansions have become exceedingly popular. They even interact with each other, but I do have to put a disclaimer here. These mods use AI for the voice lines.
I love AI. Do you use AI?
Can it, Boris? Now, I understand how a lot of people feel about AI. Trust me, I do get it. I've lost 2 jobs to AI at this point, but Ambigod has put a lot of work into the writing, And this specific use of AI isn't leading to anyone losing jobs or anything like that. It's similar to that voice line splicing tool that modders used to use back in the day. Still, I do understand that a lot of people are against using Gen AI, so maybe you prefer the line splicing. And if you do, man, have I got a funny mod for you. I'm cheating a bit with it because I said no brand new content, but I promise, it is worth it.
Remember when I said if I had a sister I'd sell her in a second? Well, I did have a sister, and I am ashamed to say it, I did sell her.
Have you ever heard Belethor say,
Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second.
and thought, what if he did have a sister? Would he sell her? Well, according to the mod author, I'm not sure YouTube will let me say that name. Anyway, he would sell her, but he's not a complete arse, just 90% of one, so he sends you, his favourite customer, on a journey across and even beyond Skyrim to find his sister after he sold her. It's not groundbreaking in any way, mechanically speaking, but the fun of it comes from the sheer absurdity of how far you have to go to find this poor woman. But Lily, and that seems like a really roundabout way of spelling Lily, anyway, isn't a woman to be taken lightly, and this actually becomes a way for you to take over the store. It's all good, light-hearted fun with quite a lot of profit by the end of it, but while we're on the topic of quests, let's have a look at the quest expansion series by Jayspera.
Web of connections between mortals. Love, hatred, loyalty, betrayal.
Jayspera, being a legend, decided to put some actual role-playing into this role-playing game, expanding many vanilla quests across the board to give you different routes and possibly outcomes so that you can actually roleplay. The specific mods that stand out to me are the Daedric artifact quests, since some vanilla ones give you the options, like the Vermina and Hircine ones, while others basically lock you into being evil to get out, like the Molag Bal and Mythala ones. Jayspera changes this, allowing players to get their way out of Molag Bal's abandoned house the moral way, and get their hands on the Ebony Blade without being the one who does the betrayal. I won't spoil the Whispering Door expansion because it's one of my favourites, and it does a lot with our favourite Jarl and his family. Outside the Daedric quests, there are also expansions for the Heart of Dibella, Infiltration and Court Red-Handed quests, along with many others. The entire College of Winterhold questline has been expanded too, and Jayspera has become one of those names on Nexus that many associate with quality, role-playing opportunities and consistency, amassing a truly impressive 48.4 million downloads. That's almost the population of Spain, and these are unique downloads too, so every single one of them is a different person. I'll leave the mod author link rather than a mod or collection down below because anything you get from this author is well worth it. And the expansions of these quests do a lot to improve the role-playing of Skyrim, but many of these quests were already pretty decent to begin with. I don't think I've heard many people say how much they hate collecting Daedric artifacts. Well, other than Meridia's Beacon.
A new hand touches the
Shut up! So what about improving one of the sections that many, including me, consider one of the most monotonous sections of the game? The Soul Cairn. Well, I have a mod for that too.
The Soul Cairn will offer a unique opportunity to continue my studies, and I intend to complete my research.
More to do in the Soul Cairn acts as both a name and a description. It's exactly what it says on the tin, giving you more side quests and locations to visit in the Soul Cairn. Something sorely needed because the area is pretty drab. The Forgotten Vale, this is not. You get new locations in this purple plane, like the Chapel of Love and new souls to help out. There are 3 NPCs to be exact, making the place feel like it isn't just a prison for Valerica and everyone else is sort of just loitering around. Sure, it doesn't stop the Soul Cairn from being nothing but purple, but the added content does make the place feel more intentional, like it's a real realm and not just some random ruins with a singular castle to house Serana's mum. You even get some direct interactions with the Ideal Masters, making it feel like they're watching you while you continually interfere with their plans. It doesn't add a massive amount, probably because the Soul Cairn itself isn't the most interesting place around, but the mod does enough to make the Soul Cairn more than just an express pickup for an Elder Scroll. It actually gives you more to do. I mean, it is in the name. Either way, the Soul Cairn is part of the Dawnguard questline, and one of its lowlights, but Serana has remained one of its highlights, and if you want that light to get even higher, I have two potential mods for you to look at. The Serana Dialogue Add-on, or SDA, and the Serana Dialogue Expansion, or SDE.
Vampires aren't counted among the living. I could probably go through there without a problem.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to come with you. But what about you?
Now, the reason we're looking at SDA and SDE together is that I want to give a bit of a comparison. You see, people like these two for often contrasting reasons, but both are high quality ways of giving Serana much more, especially after Dawnguard ends, where she can become a bit like every other vanilla follower. Both are also great for ensuring that Serana keeps up with original modded followers, as is the case with say Inigo, Lucian, Ori and so on. But with mods like these, why are there two popular versions? And why are the reasons for liking them so contrasting? Well, let's take a look at SDA first, since it's more popular. Now, by dialogue add-on, SDA really means a dialogue replacer. The legendary Laura Bailey gets replaced by a new voice actor, who, with the mod author's writing, changes the tone of the character into something familiar, but also all on its own at the same time. Serana becomes more sociable, talkative and flirty even, which can be a bit of a turn-off because it's quite in your face. But she also becomes far more feature-rich, to a quite frankly ridiculous degree, interacts with many modded followers including Ori, Remiel and Inigo, and can be configured with outfits, combat styles and can even be trained or a trainer, depending on the skills you guys are looking to develop. Think of SDA as a reboot of Serana. It's not the Serana that you know from vanilla, and she's almost a different character, but there's enough there for her to still feel familiar. It's like the live-action Cinderella remake. You know, one of the few good Disney remakes. The character gets way more expanded to feel a bit more real, but is quite different from the iconic original. By comparison, SDE goes in what I would call anyway, a more sequel route. SDE is truer to its name as an expansion. AI is used to keep Laura Bailey's voice, and expand on the character to have her interact with more quests, locations, and vanilla followers, such as Jayspera. Now, because of the use of Gen AI, you might morally feel a certain way against this mod, but I explained my stance on this specific use earlier. This version of Serana feels more true to the vanilla version, and while there is a romanceable optional file, it isn't pushed in your face or Baldur's Gate 3 style like with SDA. It's also a newer mod than SDA and doesn't have as many features, nor does it interact with modded followers, but both are exceedingly high quality and thus popular. They just go in different directions with the same character, and it's a personal preference thing as to which you prefer, the reboot or the sequel. SDA or SDE, and I want you to know that there isn't a right choice for everyone. For example, my current mod pack of use, Apostasy, check out this video for more on that, uses SDA, while one of the most famous mod packs, Lorim, uses SDE. It's also worth noting that both mod authors disagree on some Serana lore, such as SDA writing Serana to be older than the Alessian Empire, early in the First Era, while SDE makes her significantly younger, born after the Alessian Empire but before Remen Cyrodiils. Now you could choose one based on how the mod author perceives the lore, because neither is technically wrong, and make no mistake, you will have to choose between them because they do not work together. If you've always wanted that Serana romance and are stalwartly against Gen AI in any capacity, choose SDA. If you want to keep Laura Bailey's voice and are looking for a more vanilla plus experience, choose SDE, or use whatever reasoning you like, but I recommend both. Either way, that's the list for this entry of the greatest mods of all time. I hope you enjoyed this list for those looking to bolster what Skyrim already has. As before, all links will be in the description below, along with links to some other Skyrim modding YouTubers who will keep you up to date with the latest and greatest mods that Nexus has to offer. I guess I'm a bit more of a nostalgia merchant, but either way, I hope you all enjoyed, and maybe I'll see you in another video.
Wolf bore its fangs and spread its claws and tore at its own hide. Drink the blood and become my sons, or by dawn you'll never survive. And so the pack was born again as the wolves of Jorrvaskr, to rule in life and serve in death as the moonlight's bound under. And so the pack was born again as the wolves of Jorrvaskr, to rule in life and serve in death as the moonlight star.